to Books with Brandywine. Today I wanted to share with you my to-be-read list for the Asian Readathon, which was created by Cindy from ReadwithCindy. So this is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. It's a lot of words. And so in honor of this month, she decided to put together this Asian Readathon. And it's really, really simple. It's just got 6 rules, I think. And she's going to be hosting it herself, as well as I think 3 or 4 other people are going to be hosting it with her. And I'll be putting links to her announcement video so you can find out a lot more about that. She has a lot to say about it, and she said we didn't have to watch the video, but I totally like watching the video because she is awesome and I love watching her videos. But anyway, and so the 6 rules are, the one major rule that covers all of them is that every book that is chosen has to represent a different country of Asia. It could be any countries, but they just each have to be a different country. In addition to that, there is a group book which is titled 1,000 Beginnings and Endings by L&O. And from what I've heard about it, it sounds like that's a bunch of short stories that cover like a ton of different subjects. I haven't picked it up yet from the store, so I definitely need to go and buy that because that is the only book that is absolutely required for this Asian Readathon. The other books are just up to whatever, but that one is required for us to read for it. And then the 4 prompts are, the first prompt is to read a book by an Asian author. The second prompt is to read a graphic novel or manga that features an Asian character or is written by an Asian author. The third prompt is to read a book that features an intersectional Asian character or is written by an intersectional Asian identity, and that can include queer, biracial, neurodiverse, a bunch of different things that would fall under intersectional. And the fourth prompt is to read a book that was written in the original native language of the author. And so the books that I have kind of overlap. If you've seen my Sailor Moon-a-thon TBR, then you already know that I am planning to read 3 books by Asian authors. So the first one that was mentioned in the Sailor Moon-a-thon is Warcross, which I am currently reading and loving. It is by Marie Lu, but I actually can't count this because Marie Lu is Chinese, and I have another book that counts for multiple prompts that I want to use for who is written by a Chinese author. And since I can't double up on countries, I unfortunately can't count this one, since this only really counts for the first prompt, I think, which is to read a book by an Asian author. And then another book that I was planning on reading in the Sailor Moon-a-thon is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. And I'm not planning on counting this one. If I do, it will be as an extra 3rd book that I'm able to fit in at the end or something. This one is written by an author that is from Singapore, and it takes place in Singapore, and so it does count as a separate country from the rest of the books, but because it only really counts for a book written by an Asian author, I'm still not planning on officially counting it, but I am going to try and read it during the Sailor Moon-a-thon. Which leaves me with 2 more books. So the first one is Kitchen Princess, which counts as a book by an Asian author, a graphic novel or manga, and a book that was written in the native language of the author, because it was originally in Japanese and it has been translated into English. So this is like a triple threat over here. This counts for 3 different prompts, and I'm reading it for the Sailor Moon-a-thon, so definitely gonna read this one and get it in. This manga series, if you didn't get to watch the other video and didn't hear me talk about it, this is my absolute favorite manga. One of the reasons I love it is because it's about cooking, which I love cooking. I love food. It is my life. It is my obsession besides books. And so to find a manga that's all about food was like huge for me. The basic premise is that when she was little, she was given, I believe it was a golden spoon, not a golden fork. She was given a golden utensil of some sort from So yeah, it was a spoon. She was given a golden spoon by a little boy that she randomly met. And she has been searching for that boy ever since, and the spoon has led her to this super elite private school for all these like really, really rich kids. And so she has gone to the school in hopes that she can find this boy. She's really poor. She is from an orphanage, and she gets a job working in a cafe that's on campus so that she can help try and pay her way through the school. And that causes all kinds of adventures. Some drama because she's a student and she's working at this cafe and she's not supposed to be. Adventures of trying to find the boy. Adventures of having cooking competitions with this other cook that's there, because this school has like the awesomest kitchen that the students can, like certain students I think can use. It's been a really long time since I've read it, so I'm just going off of memory here. And so she has all kinds of cooking competitions. It's a really, really good manga. I loved it. And at the end of each volume, she will include recipes. This is an omnibus, so it has 2 volumes in it. But she will include recipes that she made in the book. And there's this one recipe that was for this rainbow jelly that she made for one of the boys. I think it was for the blonde boy, but I could be wrong. But she made it because he would come to the cafe every day and not eat anything. He would just pop some multivitamins. And so she made this jello specifically for him. And so it would have all of the vitamins that he needs and be rainbow colored and be delicious. And I couldn't stop thinking about the recipe, so I bought this just so I could get the recipe. Turns out it's a really simple recipe. But yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Definitely going to get this read. Oh, I forgot to say, the Readathon goes for the entire month. So it goes from May 1st to May 31st. So the Sailor Moon-a-thon ends on the 20th, but the Asian Readathon continues through the rest of the month. So I'm definitely going to try and read this one in time for the Sailor Moon-a-thon, but it's going to count for both. And then I have the 4th book that I have that is going to be exclusively for the Asian Readathon. I'm not reading it as part of the Sailor Moon-a-thon, is The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mom. This is a reread for me. I read it when it first came out in 2011, and I thought it was really good. I haven't read it since. I've been wanting to reread it, especially now that I'm a mom, to see if I view it differently at all. So it counts for a book that was written by an Asian author, and a book that features intersectional Asian character. And I mean, they're not characters, they're her kids, but she's Chinese and her husband is Jewish, which makes her children Chinese Jewish Americans. And she mentions in here that puts them into a very specific niche that apparently is actually the majority of some crowds in university cities, which I did not know. But that so I'm going to be counting this from an intersectional read, and since she's Chinese, that's also why I couldn't count the other book, Warcross, by a Chinese author, because this one counts for 2 prompts, and between Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mom and Kitchen Princess, that covers all 4 of the prompts. So these are really the 2 main books that I'm reading in this Asian Readathon, plus the group book, the 100 and Beginnings and Endings. So Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mom, I keep wanting to say Battle Hymn of the Republic, is about a Chinese mom who is raising her 2 daughters. Her husband isn't really in charge of education. They've kind of agreed that she'll be in charge of education. And she's trying to raise them the way that she was raised with her mom. And which means extremely, extremely strict style. And her 2 kids, one kind of goes along with it, the other one rebels against it. And it describes, the challenges that the 3 of them had together, the way that her daughters perceive her, and how they feel about her, and how she feels about them. And as you're going through it, she starts analyzing whether or not she's doing the correct thing by raising them this way. And the ending of the book was a little bit of a surprise. Very, very different from what people assume the book is about. And I kind of felt bad because it was getting all kinds of hate, but it was from hate that people that hadn't actually read the book and were just making judgments on it based on what they thought the book was about, which was very different from when you actually read it. And so that is another reason why I'm excited to get to read it again, to see if my perception of it has changed at all. So those are the books that I am planning on reading for the Asian Readathon. I am really excited. I'm only participating in 2 readathons this month, which is good because there are a lot of really, really, really good readathons that are going on this month, and I am completely drained from the Shakespeare month. So I, like, even participating in the 2, it's going to be a lot for me. But there is also the Pokemon Badge-a-thon, I think is what it's called. It's a Pokemon readathon, basically, where you earn the badges from the different gyms. And then there's also the mental health-a-thon, which looks really, really good too, but I can't focus on so many readathons at one time. So I'm going to try and do these ones this year and try and catch the other 2 next year and try and balance it that way. But there are so many good readathons going on this year. If you guys haven't joined one yet, I would definitely suggest looking up one of the readathons. The Sailor Moon-a-thon, I think, is pretty much closed as far as the teams go. And the Pokemon one might be too, just because they had to assign, like, the teams based on Pokemon Go, so they had, like, Instinct, Valor, and Mystic. But the other 2, the Mental Health-a-thon and the Asian Readathon, are pretty much open. So if you haven't joined a readathon yet, I would definitely suggest looking into one of the readathons that are going on this month, because there are so many good ones and there's so many good books to read. So definitely encourage that. If you guys are participating in any readathons, I'd be really curious what those are. So let me know in the comments. And if you're doing the Asian Readathon, let me know what books you guys are already planning on reading. I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!